Peace. Welcome to the YouTube live greeting of Sacred Sounds by Ted Andrews. Magic and healing through words and music. I'm your moderator and narrator, Uriel. Hi, it's Heart Love. Welcome, YouTube. Peace. We are back in LA. All right. Picking up with chapter 2. Page 29 for all those reading along with us. Welcome. Hi, it's Heart Love and happy Sunday. It's the first day of the week. There's so much going on in the heavens. I mean, it's a beautiful sight. I'll have to post it for you. But hi, it's Heart Love. All right. Chapter 2. The magic in music. Peace. All sound and tone can fall into one of two categories, musical and non-musical. In this chapter, we will explore the musical effects of sacred sound and how they can be applied by anyone, regardless of musical background or knowledge. Everyone is musical. Everyone holds the gift of music within them. It is intrinsic to the nature of us all, without exception. We have been surrounded and nourished by music since the moment of conception. From the sounds carried to us through the amniotic fluids during pregnancy to the rhythmic beat of our own hearts. Music and rhythm are life itself. Music is healing, and we must make it a conscious and active part of our lives. We must participate in music as we did as children. This is not just listening to it or using it to fill voids of silence in our lives. We must learn about it from an entirely new perspective. We must realize that within music lies all of the wonders and keys to the miracles of life. Within music lies all of the principles of life, natural and spiritual. Music can facilitate the process of change and growth. It is recognized that a child responds to sound even while in the womb. The earth is our mother, now our womb. And we need to learn to work with the sounds of the earth much more creatively than in the past. You do not have to be gifted to benefit from work with sacred sound and music. Musicians are exceptional, but they are only gifted in the sense that they are willingly and lovingly receive this gift which is available to all. They have taken what is part of us all, what is offered to us all, and then they have magnified it and made it their own. Even if we all can't be musicians, we all can be musical. The consequences of higher consciousness and divine communication live on through music. When played, music will continue to pulse outward into the field of energy beyond us long after the actual sound has faded from the audible awareness. Look how often we hear a tune in the morning and we hum or hear it within our head throughout the rest of the day. Mhm. This phenomenon says much about the spiritual and lasting effects of music. It even tells us that the possibility of communicating by music with the unseen is immeasurable. Modern society views music in two ways: as an art form and as a commercial product. Music needs to be considered in a third way, as a power of the universal force. It is a force that was treated with great respect in ancient times. They recognized that the physical emission of sound was an outer and audible agency of the inner transformation. They recognized that music was a relationship of one tone to another, and that all life was the relationship of one individual to another. The power of music works because of a secret content found in the expression of sound. This secret content is the pattern of sound emitted through the various techniques, vocal or instrumental. For example, inspiration and intuition occurs through a repetition of regular musical structure tones and patterns that change the brainwave pattern from a beta, normal consciousness, to an alpha pattern, altered state of awareness. Uh, we have to put a pin right there because that's a very key. See, the beta consciousness is what we would call the AEIOU consciousness. That's the beta consciousness. The expanded and the altered state of awareness, leveled up consciousness is UOAEI. That's the correct octave. The beta, the sheep, use the AEIOU. Certain modes, minor and major, were deemed powerful. As a general rule, the minor modes were considered carriers of great force and power, and could affect changes in emotional and physical states. The major modes were uplifting and energizing. The minor mode draws the energy into the physical, and the major modes lift the individual to the spiritual. The manner of playing and singing the modes was considered powerful. Some were literally banned by the church. Many believed that the voice was wedded to words and that instruments lacked this unity. Many of the early church leaders also associated many instruments with pagan life. The lyre and flute, for example, were strongly associated with pagan dances, even though the lyre and flute were used in worship by the Greek converts to Christianity. The use of such instruments was condemned by such major figures as Clement of Alexandria, Saint Ambrose, and Saint Augustine, who adjures believers not to turn hearts to theatrical instruments, even though Augustine exhorts the power of music and hymns. The church often believed that pagan musical instruments were derived from ancient magical practices that utilized music to invoke unseen beings and power. This was especially true regarding the singing hymns. Mhm. For example, in the development of singing polyphony, the interval of the minor second was prohibited, and Ecclesiastical authorities frowned upon the movement away from the Gregorian chants towards secular and possibly pagan melodies as a basis for the Mass. In the traditional Greek music, in the early chants, and even in the folk songs, the text and the melody were united. However, individual singers who would adjust the text of the Mass to fit with the music using their own judgment were condemned by the Council of Trent, 1545 through 1563. The difficulty today in reawakening much of the ancient knowledge and power of music lies in relating the old models to modern modes of awareness. The pitch ratio of ancient times would have to be tempered to today's world. Our own energy and expression is much different than that of thousands of years ago. When we apply the musical principles of the past to the present, it is not the individual's notes that are of key importance, but rather it is the relationship of one tone to another. Peace, eyes, heart, love, YouTube. Thank you so much for the likes and subs. This is the peaceful part of YouTube where we read books and learn from masters. Eyes, heart, love. We're reading Sacred Sounds by Master Ted Andrews. I'm Master Fitness Trainer Uriel Riley. Hi, it's hard love, and welcome to the peaceful part of YouTube. Thank you so much for being here and reading. You get to catch it live, so that's really cool. Yes, we're back in LA. Yes, just was in Hawaii. Oh, yeah, so beautiful. Man, yeah, but I'm definitely happy to be home back in LA. Yeah. All right. These are keys right here, right? The difficulty today in reawakening much of the ancient knowledge and power of music lies in relating the old. Yeah, all right. When we apply the musical principles of the past to the present, it is not the individual notes that are key importance, but rather it is the relationship of one tone to another. Western society's scale is chromatic. It includes the basic 8 notes from C to the next higher pitch of C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It also includes the sharps and flats in between them. On the piano, this would constitute not only the white keys, but the black keys as well. Many ancient societies use a pentatonic scale based upon 5 distinct notes. This is comparable to the 5 black keys on the piano. However, the black keys only represent one arrangement of the many possibilities. In a pentatonic scale, technically, any 5 notes can be considered a pentatonic scale. And we have the example of the scales right here in the Western scale and the Eastern scales. As you'll see, it says pentatonic D, E, G, A, and B under the Western scale. And under the Western scale for diatonic is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. And chromatic is C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. And then in the Eastern scales, you have Oriental, D, F, G, A, and C. Those are the 5. In the African, we have the D, E, G, A, and B. And in, well, similar. Kemet, Egypt, you have F, G, A, B, and C. And Greece, you have D, E, G, A, and B. All right, as the five. The and asterisk next to it, it says, because the asterisk is with the Eastern scales of examples, I'll show you. It says, these are examples of pentatonic scales used in folk songs of these countries and cities, states. There are others, of course. So here we go. We get another. I love it. I love it. I love it. As you see, we're reading sacred sounds, magic and healing through words and music. Discover the magical power of singing, speaking, and storytelling. All right. So those are examples of the scales, as you see, right down at the bottom of page 32. All right. These tones associated with the scales give each society its own distinct sounds. This is why what sounds good to us in our society may sound quite discordant or strange to others, and vice versa. This is why Westerners often dislike or don't understand many Eastern forms of music. It is not that the Eastern is discordant or inharmonious. It is simply based upon a different scale, a scale that is usually quite in harmony with the energies of that people. Each society, as each individual, has its own energy system. We in the West use our energies in ways that are quite different from those in the East. It is only natural that the expression of that energy through music would also be quite different. Yeah, that's right. It is not the number of notes within a particular scale that provides its force or impact, but rather it is the succession, the relationship between one note and the next provided the clue to the use of music for healing and for achieving higher states of consciousness. It is the order in which they are played in conjunction with the rhythm that creates the impact. Certain combinations of tones and rhythms have very specific effects upon our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual states. The order and rhythm of tones and the mixing of tones into various melodies is a source of magic. We can learn to combine tones, vocal or instrumental, to link energies of the bodies together. This can be done to facilitate healing, intuition, dream, enlightenment, communing with spirits, or for invoking divine presences. We will explore a number of these techniques throughout this book. Please, welcome, welcome. Awesome. Hello. Peace, YouTube. Thank you guys for the likes and subs. Peace to the book lovers community. We are here, part of that as well, reading this magical, magical book, Sacred Sounds by the great master Ted Andrews. Thank you so much. We're in the second chapter now. All right. Welcome. Healing elements of music. We love the healing. We love the light workers here. So you are welcome. Definitely welcome here. It's a peaceful part of YouTube where we read books and learn from masters. Healing elements of music. We can employ musical rhythms, tones, instruments, and vocalizations to interact with the various activities of the physiological systems of the body. The key to working with healing music is to understand how the chakra system relates to the physical and subtle aspects of our energies. We have another diagram. Yes. I love this one too. This is one of the classic Ted Andrew diagrams as well. The electromagnetic emanations of the body are strongest at the chakra points of the body. These emanations occur in front and in back of the body. All right, so these are the basic chakra, or what we call energy centers of the body that are running in the meridian channels of our governing and conception um, meridians. So says shows the root or base, gonads and ovaries, spleen, adrenals, spleen and liver, solar plexus, adrenals, heart, the thymus, throat, thyroid, brow, pituitary, crown, pineal. All right. Here we go. Welcome. Peace YouTube. Live from the light. We're reading Sacred Sound, Magic and Healing Through Words and Music. All right. So looking at the chakra right here. Right. Page 34. All right. The chakras are the primary mediators of all energy already in the body and all energy coming into the body. They mediate the electromagnetic impulses of our energy system. The chakras can take the energy expressions and help the body distribute them for various physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual functions. Although not part of the physical body, they link the subtle energy field that is surrounding the physical body to the activities of the body. And then here we go on page 35, the mediation of energy through the chakra. And it shows how the life force comes in. Ain't that light, right? Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Switch it. Let's go through all of the colors. All of the colors. So the life force energy flows to the subtle body. From the subtle bodies, it's distributed all around the human chakras and the essence. And then that funnels into the nervous system and endocrine system, blood and organs of the body to the physical body. Here we go. Look at this. It's beautiful. On page 35 of Sacred Sounds. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Master Fitness Trainer Uriel Riley. We read books and learn from masters on this peaceful part of YouTube. Thank you for being here. High is heart love. The normal life force from each subtle body enters into its own particular chakra, which then distributes the energy to the spinal contact. Mhm. Where it is in turn passed on to the bloodstream and organs. When the food we eat is converted into energy, the process reverses itself so that the energy field and subtle bodies surrounding the physical are strengthened and energized. Blockage of the flow of energy. Life force energy flows in, right? And then you have the human, and then subtle bodies and essence. And it says negative mental and emotional energy patterns passing through the subtle bodies will interfere with the normal flow of the energy into the physical. Negative thoughts and emotions can link with the normal life force flow and be carried into the physical. Mhm. This in turn weakens the flow into the chakras and their corresponding areas of the physical body. This results in an imbalance and a buildup of negative energy, which in transmitted is transmitted to the physical and manifests in illness and disease. All right. So here shows what happens when you get the blockage. Page 36. Diagram. Thank you so much for being here. Peace, Dunk. Hi, it's Heart Love. Thank you for reading with us Sacred Sounds by the great master Ted Andrews. We're in the second chapter. All right. And it shows is here. It says the nervous, endocrine, and circulatory systems, cells, tissues, and organs of the physical body, and then the physical body. The chakras are connected to the functions of the physical body primarily through the endocrine glands and the spinal system. They mediate the energy within the and without the body through the various spinal contacts. See, we're talking about the CNS. So we have to put a pin right here because when he's talking about the spinal contact and these energy centers in the body, they're running through the CNS, which is our spine and our brain combined, right? Mm. Thank you so much for being here. That's why I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Amazing. All right. Yeah, we'll finish this page up and I'll let you go for the day. I want you to have a wonderful, magnificent day. Happy Saturday or Sunday. And we got some great work happening today. So got to get to it. Let's go. Specific tones and rhythms. Mhm. Distribution occurs throughout the body by means of the nerve pathways and the circulatory system. In this way, all of the organs, tissues, and cells receive the energy for the various uses. Refer to the illustrations. The chakra system, the mediation of energy through the chakra and blockage of the flow energy. Specific tones, rhythms, instruments, and vocalizations can be used to stimulate balance and interact with the flow of the electromagnetic energies of the chakra system. Since they connect with the physical, we can use those same tones, rhythms, instruments, and vocalizations to impact upon the corresponding physical organs and systems of the body itself. Many times we fail to realize that the body knows how to take care of itself. Unfortunately, we do get in its way. We give it the wrong kinds of food. We overwork it. We don't allow it to rest. We expose it to stress and negativity. We hold on to emotions and attitudes that short circuit its energy flow, causing weaknesses and imbalances. At times of imbalance, the chakras attempt to pull greater energy from the subtle bodies into the physical to counteract the disease. If we are to correct the condition, we must first restore balance to our subtle energy system and to the natural flow of the energies throughout the physical. In many cases, simply restoring the proper balance and functioning to the chakras will correct the imbalance or at least alleviate it. Once the chakric energy flow is balanced, then the body can more easily concentrate on the physical manifestation of the dis-ease. We'll pause right here. Page 38 in the second chapter, The Magic in Music of Sacred Sounds by Master Ted Andrews. Thank you so much for being here with us. Hi, it's Heart Love. We will see you when we reconvene in chapter 2. Hi, it's Heart Love. Thank you so much for reading books with us, all the book lovers community, and to all my mods, friends, and family. Hi, it's Heart Love. Another great reading. I wish that you have a wonderful day. When you rise, open your eyes, know that you're loved. That's why we do this. Uplift the people. Well, let's have a glass of love water, right? Thank you so much for being here. Love, honor. Yeah, glass of love water for our friends and family. All those that we've lost, we love you so much. We honor you. Hi, it's Heart Love. I love you. 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 I want you to have a wonderful Sunday. Shaking it up on YouTube. Reading books, right? Woo! Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Yep, yep. That's right. Scatter the negative debris. And we bring in the wholeness. Grateful for all I have now and all that is coming. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for keeping my friends and family safe. I love you. Yeah. Peace, peace. I love you. I love you. No, because I love myself. Peace, peace. Eyes heart. I'll see you soon.